Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show, training our horses and miniature cows in ranch versatility. Penning Rusty and Susie, our bull and heifer. Roping Rusty with Morgan horse Semi. Training Eve to drive cart. Training Eve to work over her haunches with a motor cow simulator. Training Eve to lay down. Training Eve to harness, pull a log. Training Semi to harness, pull a log on turf. Jumping at Liberty to music, making our Morgan horses our partners. Training Eve on a cow roping simulator. Training on our driveway, which is covered by sand, so we have a straight track. Stepping over poles, jumping over crossbar jumps. Training in our trail obstacles area. Semi on the big steps. Morgan horse Sadie doing obstacles rainlessly. Sadie learns to pull a cart. Miniature zebu heifer Susie learns to drive a cart. Bull Rusty learns to pull a harrow. Morgan Mare Sadie is being given some jumping refresher lessons to improve her scope so that she reliably can be a ranch versatile horse on the trail.
Here we are in the arena today with Shadrach Sonnenschein Sadie, my youngest Morgan. We had her out in the pasture jumps yesterday without a crop. She was very, very lazy. So our plan was today to bring her to the arena, set up a couple jumps, and get her to be more responsive to our requests. And Gina is riding Sadie. Gina knows a lot about jumping. I'm Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl, who is, I believe, in Santa Cruz, a vanishing cowgirl. I know few people in this county who do ranch horse versatility, other than people that work with me or board with me. So, okay, it's something that's happening all over California because it's getting harder and harder to have cows in big property, so we do our best here at Minmore Farms. Okay, so let's see what Gina says. This is just going to be a short lesson to see if in the safety of the arena, where there's no slippery grass, no gopher holes to worry about, good sand footing, we can get Sadie to give us the speed we want and the alertness that we want in jumping over some very easy homemade vinyl jumps that we can move around readily and that are not edible. So Gina is going to warm up Sadie, and we'll watch her with her crop in her hand. And remember that Sadie might do a whoopee if you do more than just tap her with it. That's the way Sadie reacts to crops, which is a disrespect that we have to also work on. This is midday. We've got some sun, some shade, but luckily it's not a real warm day. So we can be out here in the arena with the comfort of good weather in Santa Cruz, California. The objective, get a few good, alert, responsive, successful jumps without her tipping the rails. Start out at a trot, maybe go for a canter. I'm not sure. We'll see how the day goes. This is not a real big arena. It's like a medium-sized arena, about 70 by 90, 80 by 90. Good enough, though, to give us a nice place to lunge and a nice, safe ground to do speed transitions. You can see that Gina is asking for collection, vertical flexion. We can see Sadie giving and not giving, and then giving and not giving. We don't use tie downs and so forth. We use requests on the go, so to speak. Give and take with the legs, with the hands, with our body position. Sadie is a bit more stiff on the left. We'll be doing some exercises to correct that. Most horses are one-sided in that respect. Gina has her jump saddle, which has some nice knee pads. I've done some jumping in the past, and probably not today, but in the future I'd like to do some jumping on Sadie, Semi, and Eve. All three of my Morgans, again. I like to do jumping only at the height that I think is a useful height. In other words, if we're out on a trail and we have to jump over something because something has fallen in the trail, I want to be able to do that. See the agitation we're getting at request for collection. We hope to show you improvement in that respect. And when Gina feels ready, and that's something she can feel from the saddle and we may not be able to see from the ground, she will ask Sadie to do a jump.
No.
Now it looks like she was about to, and then wasn't getting the response she wanted, so round and round and round we go. We try never to be in a hurry here. If we don't do it today, we hope to do it tomorrow. And if we don't get it today, we just back up to something we know we can do, stop on a good note, and look forward to trying again tomorrow. And see, this was a bit of the response.
Kind of.
Yeah, she was getting this yesterday in the pasture, and we decided to just do some easy jumps, trot jumps, and work on it. Okay, all right. Yes, this was the right thing to do, to come here to the arena and work on it as much as we have to until Sadie understands and gives us the right answers.
Can you hear me? Not really.
Gina, why don't you come over here and tell us what you're feeling? We can see it. We can see that there isn't good collection.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, come on real close. Okay.
So, since she's younger and just more inexperienced, she gets really anxious and confused easily. And she's listening to me. She really wants to know what I'm asking her, but I'm trying to get her to take the bit more and get just a better pace really for the jump, because yesterday she was just really low and wasn't taking the bit at all, and would just go straight through the jump, wasn't even picking up her feet really. So I'm just trying to get her kind of lighter on her feet because it seems to be her general problem.
Okay.
But she's getting there. She just needs to warm up a little bit.
Right, and as you were warming up, I said we may not even actually jump today.
Yeah, I just don't want her to, I'd like to, if I was going to jump, just to start out well. I don't want to just like send her at a jump and then have her just knock it down, just go straight through it. She wouldn't understand that the pace that I want goes with getting to jump. So I don't want to send her over a jump until I'm happy with her flat work, I guess.
All right.
You're
in charge.
Okay.
You choose what you want to do. You choose how long you want to do it.
Okay.
Just make sure that if you don't get where you want to go, you go back to something that you know that she's giving you the right answer, and we stop on a good note.
Okay.
Pirelli calls that the note of resolution. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you an idea how long we did this. Turn on the camera again after we've done it for a while and tell you what happened. No sense just showing you repeat, repeat, repeat. So right now I'm going to turn off the camera and turn it back on when we feel we're ready to go to the next step, or we feel we had to go back a step to get a note of resolution. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes, and now Gina feels like she can try the little one, she said. So let's see which one she perceives here as the little one. One's a crossbar, one's straight across. Oh, it's the crossbar. Oh, good. She'll probably try it again if Sadie's giving her the collection and the attention that she wants. Let's see. Nope. Round and round until you get that behavior, that right answer. And there she goes. Okay, she's splitting her legs.
Yeah.
And
I know.
We know that Sadie's not ready to just sail over these things in a jump, but at least so far she hasn't clicked the rails, which by the way are just long pieces of remnant PVC. Oh, good. So far, not a click.
Yeah, at least you picked.
Gina's mic doesn't work when her back is to us, and so we'll make sure we have a interview at the end to see what she had to say. I always try to film sessions that have some educational material, but I knew she was going to do that. I could see she wasn't lifting her legs. So Gina's making her step around it. We do have pieces of wood in those styrene pipes so that when they get knocked off, they don't bounce up. That they fall to the ground and are not further spooky to the horse. Do you want me to put it back up?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I will stop the camera and put that styrene pipe back up. All right, the rail is set up again, 1 cup lower, and we remove the ground poles. Gina feels that she might have done something to help Sadie lift up a little better last time. So we'll make sure we ask her about that during our interview. Sadie's doing quite well over that crossbar with the PVC pipes. Let's see how she does when Gina thinks that Sadie's ready for the styrene pipe. A little more energy, but you know, there's also a little more agitation at the head, so it's just still an argument, still a misunderstanding, still not a willingness. But you know, these things can take days, weeks, months. That's okay. We'll keep getting better, one small step at a time. Looks like she was about to try it and then aborted because she wasn't, I believe, getting the response, the lightness that she wanted. Better, yes. There's a lot of timing involved here. It's not just a matter of letting the horse jump over. Not a horse that's learning. And when you give your cues, the timing of the cues is very important, as is the case in many disciplines. And Gina has to go out of town for a week or so. Rosie's coming back. Rosie knows Sadie, but it's been a while since she's jumped with Sadie, so Gina's going to give Rosie, another one of my helpers who knows how to jump, some background on what we've been doing the last couple days, so Rosie knows what the prerequisites are. And if we have a chance, we'll video again when Rosie works further with Sadie. Tell when Gina's about to try it, and then I can tell when she aborts. She looks at the jump, she heads Sadie in that direction, and then she immediately turns Sadie laterally if she's not getting the lightness she wants. Good. To me, that looks good. We'll see when we have our interview how Gina felt about it. And she is using her crop. And so far, no whoopies. So it's really just a dressage whip. Yeah, now she was throwing her head up, and that's why she tipped the rail. She was not being willing. Light and soft. No. Now we're not going to use tie downs or anything of that sort. We're just going to do it by repetition. I'm kind of curious what Gina thinks Sadie is trying to do when she throws up her head. Is she scared? Is she unwilling? Is she confused? There's got to be a reason, and we can only guess at what it is. And remove that reason. Through repetition and clear cues. Better. That looked better to me. Didn't lift her front legs. So I'm going to stop the camera again. I wish we had a third helper here today, but we don't. And set those up again, because you don't want to stop on a note like that. Okay, we're set up again. Sadie's definitely getting tired. It's been about 15 minutes. And Gina's going to ask her to go over the crossbar again, the cross jump, PVC jump, because we don't want to stop on a bad note. Oh, almost. All right, I'm going to stop again. That was much better, but try again. Trying again. Then we'll, if we're successful, have our interview, because we want to talk about scope. Gina was telling me that Sadie has a wonderful, comfortable jog, which I agree. But there's something about her scope in jumping that needs to be improved within certain parameters. She'll never be a real high jumper, but I don't care. That's not what I care about. Yes! That's the way to stop. That's the note of resolution. All right, so Gina's going to probably come back to this quadrant, face the camera, and tell us a little bit about scope, if you would, and whether or not you think Sadie can improve her scope. And if you'll face the camera, that would be very helpful.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, different horses.
Try to stand here, and I know then we'll walk her, because I know she is wet.
Horses have different paces and striding naturally. And I mean, compared to Semi, the other mare, who tends just to naturally pick her feet up more just on the flat work, Sadie has this really individual stride that is a lot smoother and just flatter, meaning she just kind of extends her strides more where it's not quite as up. So as far as jumping, I would call it she has less scope than versus Semi, because she just doesn't really pick her feet up as well, or even really have the will to. And I wouldn't call it a laziness in her stride, just it's flatter. So with jumping, it's just harder for her to get that built up physical, like, I guess it's kind of, it goes along with vertical flexion and getting that feel in the bit. I don't know if it's just because of her inexperience or if she just doesn't have the right type of stride to jump. I mean, these are little jumps. These aren't big things, but I think if we just keep working with her for her to understand more what we're trying to ask her, she'll at least learn to move in that certain way.
Okay, and remember, she's probably my best trail horse. So
yeah,
let's say
that's the thing. I mean, she's wonderful on the flat. She's so smooth. She's just, she's lovely, and she's so much fun in that sense. I mean, but she's almost just like too calm to jump. Like,
yeah, but what if there's a big tree trunk down across the trail? That's all I want. I want her to understand how to
get over it.
To get over it.
And I think that's just time and experience for her.
Okay.
I think she'll get that.
All right, and we'll try to video her progress as we get to that goal. Hey, thanks a lot, Gina. And let's walk her, hose her off, and let her turn out again. Yeah, it's not a warm day, but she obviously worked hard today. Our next session with Sadie. She's already exhausted. We've been working her on the track, asking her now to jump. Yes. some cavalettis, one higher than the other. Cavalettis that maybe more closely represent what you might find out on the trail if something had fallen down across the trail. And remember, that's the scope we want Sadie to be able to do. And notice that we have her cavallos on the front feet because she did get a little bit chipped up. Oh, that was beautiful, Rosie. Let's see if we can do it on the way back. And then, since she's so tired and since she's already sweaty because it is a kind of a warm autumn day in Santa Cruz, we'll call it quits for Sadie's refresher jumping lessons for the time being. And just maintain her at this level. Oh, nice. Beautiful. That was perfect. Well, here's a interview with Rosie, and I'm giving you a closer view of Sadie's size 2 cavallos. In case you want to get them, I highly recommend them for protection. So if you don't want to put shoes on your horse. Okay, and Rosie, you worked her about 10-15 minutes, and can you just tell us about her scope and her energy level?
I worked her a little bit longer than that, but not too much longer. But it is a pretty warm day here in Santa Cruz. That's part of why she's sweating. And just also because we haven't been working her as regular recently, so she could be in better shape. But she did pretty good. She kept her energy level pretty high. I carried this crop just in case, but I didn't really have to use it. She was picking up her feet just fine. There was once when she just barely touched one of her hooves to the slightly higher jump, and because she was just coming at it a little too lazily. But then, you know, after that it never happened again. That's what one thing that cavaliers are good for. They'll encourage her to pick up her feet because she doesn't want to tap her feet against these heavy wooden poles. But she was good. I warmed her up a bit, just trying to keep her neck flexed and to keep her head low. And once she realized what I was asking of her, she did just fine.
And I think she actually did better today than she did yesterday, which is what we would hope if we're making progress. So thank you, Rosie, and thank you, darling Sadie.
Our cast of characters: Sadie and Eve, Sammy, Demi, and Lotus, Rusty and Susie. www.thesocolos.com